Hey everyone, Pastor Gary and I have been thinking about different ways of sort of mixing things up as we've had to be doing sermons and thoughts for the day via social media. We thought maybe we'd take a little bit of a different approach. Who would have thought that we'd still be in this, and we might still be in this situation for a lot longer time. So we're just sort of getting creative, and we thought maybe that I would once a week do what we had been talking about in terms of a thought for the day, maybe moving it to a thought for the week, which would maybe move into how he approaches his sermon for Sunday, so that we can be giving consideration to what God's saying throughout the week in preparation for what we hear on Sunday. So one of the things that we've been talking about, on and off, is that whole 2020 vision in 2020, how uniquely the year 2020 hopefully brings clarity to a lot of things. And I think this time is definitely one of those things. Isn't it rather ironic? Maybe ironic's not the right word, but in 2020, how different it's been. And perhaps that's something that God really wants to show us this year I believe he does. He wants to show us this year who he is. Who are we in relation to him? And that 2020 vision has all that more deeper meaning to it this year, particularly as it's 2020. So I want to read a few passages or a few verses to you. Philippians 2:13 reads, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose." So what we were thinking of as we've finished off the Easter series is that 2020 vision, particularly now, how relevant that is right now. And thoughts that have been going on in my mind for weeks now is there's got to be, I'm a firm believer in the fact that God has a purpose for everything. Even though we may not like it, even though we may not be comfortable, whatever things happen in life, he has a purpose for each one of us. And I think that's what we want to give consideration to this week. In asking, what is God purposing for me in all of this? Yes, we're to care about others, but let's be honest. If we all were really honest with ourselves, we probably have felt a little inconvenienced by this. We probably have felt a number of things in the midst of this pandemic and social distancing. So, what's God's purpose? What is he saying to each one of us? It will be unique. Another verse that talks about God having purpose is Proverbs 19:21, and it reads, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails." I think each one of us would say, wow, that's pretty heavy when you think about it. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. How many of us have had plans that have really gone awry? Every one of us. We thought it would look a certain way, and yet our personal worlds have been rather turned upside down, practically speaking. So the question is, what is God's purpose for me in this? What's he saying to me? What's he showing me about me? That's the challenge I think we want to look at this week. We want to use this time, this extra time he's given us. Perhaps you don't think you have extra time. Perhaps your kids are home and you're thinking, I have way less time for myself. But if you think about it, all of us have that expendable amount of time. And often it's taken up by things that we do. Sports, getting out and doing things, socializing. So to a measure, we have that time now to be purposeful in meeting with him. And I'm probably not too far off in suggesting that many of us have been praying that he would take any fear away, praying that he would intervene. And these are all prayers that are legit. But I'm going to ask something different this week. Yes, we need to pray, but I want us not to be praying to Him about the situation, but to be quiet and listen. We've probably done a lot of talking to Him. Let's begin to turn a corner and listen to Him. Let's use this time to have that 2020 vision, that clarity of 2020 vision for ourselves. What is He saying to me? He's got a purpose for me going through this. He's got a purpose for you going through this. What does He want to show you about you? What does He want to show you about Himself, His nature? So when we talk to God, let's begin to ask Him, what is your purpose for me in this? And slow down long enough and spend time with Him and listen. Really listen. He wants to tell each one of us. Each one of us is uniquely crafted by Him, and each one of us He has a message for personally. Let's seek that 2020 vision that He wants to have and impart to us about us. What do we need to know? How does He want us to be more like Him? What do we need to get rid of that was crowding Him out? 2020 vision. The greater 2020 vision, I believe, which probably has been, you probably considered a lot in the last number of weeks, is 2 Chronicles 7:14. And it reads, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." I believe that's the greater purpose in all of this. And we still need to be praying into that. And it's important to pray into that. But let's seek God for His purpose personally. What are you trying to show me, God? What are you purposing for me in this time? Bless you as we head towards Sunday, and I just pray that as we prepare our hearts, that we would be slowing down and listening to Him, listening to His voice. Bless you.